when you do get monetized, it doesn't rain money all of a sudden.
No, it doesn't, but that's well, did it even play the intro video? Yes, it did. All right, welcome everybody to the Average Intelligence Podcast. I am Jake, joined by our good friend Sosa Potence 300. Is it 300 or 3000? I can never remember. It's 300, right?
300, although I would accept 3,000 with such a lovely send off from Avengers Endgame. That was beautiful.
I don't know. It doesn't, but that's. I think I somehow fucked up the video, but I think we're good now. Damn buttons. Alrighty, obligatory
I
audio
was just
check is
saying, I
complete.
love that scene with Avengers Endgame. I love you 3,000. So I accept both.
Oh, it's iconic. But this podcast tonight is brought to you by the Down the Middle podcast and our friends at Stevie Wicks. More on them as we go along. But we're here to sort of do, I guess, what would you call it, a status update on Dragon Ball Daima, where we're at, how we feel about it.
Bro, I'm loving it, honestly. Like it's a little bit more kiddie than I'm used to, but I like Majin Ku. I like his unique kind of personality. He's not the main villain. So it'll be interesting to see how they write him in. Like I honestly thought they were going to do more with her and the guy, girl who made her, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
I'm in an interesting position with it because, and to be completely fair and transparent, it's probably not the show. It's probably how I have to squeeze in watching the show. This really does feel like a show that should be a weekly experience, not a binging experience, if that makes sense, because it repeats itself a lot, but I don't think it would stick out so bad if you were watching just one episode per week like a traditional TV schedule would. But the funniest thing is happening is every time I'm watching it, just when I start to think, I really don't like this show, they bring out an absolute banger and I'm right back in. Like I was starting to get a little fatigued with it until the Goku Glorio fight. And
That
then
was awesome.
I was like, ah shit, here we go. I'm back. I'm back in. And then just when I was starting to get bored with it again, Goku busts out Super Saiyan in the Demon Realm, and I'm like, fuck. Okay, now I'm back. And then just when I was getting bored again, Vegeta finally shows up, and I'm like, well, shit. All right. And then that Majin Buu character, which it's so funny. It's like every time it starts to get boring, they throw in a new layer of intrigue, and it's like, okay, I'm back. So
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna yeah, I'm gonna
sorry. I
try
thought you were
to.
done.
No, it's all good. I'm gonna try to change. I'm gonna try to make it so where I watch an episode a week and no longer have to like binge catch up.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's what I
I'm
do. I
gonna
mean,
try to do that.
I'm up at 10:30 Central every morning, like ready for it to hit Crunchyroll. So I can either put out a clip of it or I can put out a little mini review of it. One thing. You would love the episode 7 review I did because I put in that Goku versus Glorio scene and I mixed him doing his electricity finger magic stuff in with Emperor Palpatine. Unlimited power.
Ah!
It was epic. Yeah.
That's funny.
But no, I love also the multiverse expansion that we got within the last episode, man. Like we're getting multiverse stuff now. There's so many different universes besides the demon realm, and basically everybody came from the demon realm. So our universe, like basically, like came second, it seems.
So it's interesting though, and actually, I'm glad you said it that way because that reminded me. I want to get your take on this. So it's actually an older short that we did, but we just uploaded it to Instagram, and basically, I postulate my theory that okay, so Beast Gohan. My theory is that Mystic Gohan, Ultimate Gohan, whatever you want to call it, is essentially Gohan unlocking some sort of divine key, not God key, but like maybe Kai key or something. Um, because we know that God key is what's used to unlock Super Saiyan God. But that's a whole different
Yeah,
kind of thing. And we've established with the Demon Realm, there's different kinds of, and well, even in Dragon Ball Super, you've got God key and you've also got Destroyer key, which is it's a different thing. So presumably the
yeah,
Kais have their own key signature as well. So my
yeah,
theory is that Beast Mode Gohan is just Gohan, Mystic Gohan transforming into Super Saiyan. So it's kind of like Super Saiyan Blue, but it's a different kind of key.
How about Super Saiyan 3 because it has a really long hair?
No, that's just an extension of Super Saiyan. It's my understanding because it's still the gold color scheme.
Okay, I can still go with it.
But the interesting thing about Super Saiyan 3 though is a lot of people are always debating like, well, why didn't Vegeta do it? I'm like, I'm pretty sure Vegeta can do it. It's just that if you're not already dead, it's not really worth the power drain.
Right. And it's yeah, exactly. He deems it insufficient. In insufficient form. It might help you power boost for a little bit, but unless you're using it as a last ditch attempt like Kaioken, then it's not really worth much.
Yeah, well, not only that, like, yeah, it's something that you can maintain if you're already dead, but if you're still among the
Right.
living, it's a real short. It's like you said, it's just like the Kaioken with a little bit less risk because by the time you get to that point, you've got the key mastery to be able to do it, much less control it. But yeah, my theory was is that because well, I mean, let's be honest, what they're actually doing is they're just making a bunch of new transformations and they're going to figure out the explanation later, if ever. But
Yep.
to
Yep.
me, with what we've already established with Super Saiyan Blue, that to me just makes the most sense. Is that it's just Mystic Gohan tapping into Super Saiyan, probably Super Saiyan 2, but you know,
I get
and
you.
it and
I
the
mean,
comment,
I'm completely down for that.
yeah, the comment section is great. Every time we post a Dragon Ball video, there's so many people that argue, and it's just like, why?
Because Dragon Ball means a lot to a
It
lot of
does.
different
That's
people, man.
true. That's true. And I mean, I'm not one to talk. I posted the video anyway, but I do it to troll all of you. I want your
Yeah, I mean,
engagement.
I could only imagine how much anger I would have caused out of you saying, "You ain't really no patriot, man. You ain't no right wing. You ain't supporting Trump all the way." You would have been like, "Nah, fuck that. How dare you?" Yeah, it's the same thing, except people do it with Dragon Ball Z. Like,
Yeah, that's yeah.
you should see the people how apoplectic they get during whenever you talk about Broly and the movie 8, the
Oh
Teal
God.
version. Oh
No,
my God.
somebody said in the comments section that it's all not canon. The movies aren't canon. I'm like, actually, since Battle of Gods, they've all been canon.
Kind of. Yes. They're meant to take place in an alternate universe. So they are meant to be taken seriously, but technically they're not canon to the timeline, but they are canon to the series because Tio has a hand in it partially with Toriyama. It's stupid. Anyone who debates canon, as far as I'm concerned, is stupid.
Well, I've already made. I mean, okay, this is another one. We've done two or three shorts on this and I get the same arguments even though but this one's particularly funny because when they argue in the comments it means they didn't watch the video. So my argument with
Yeah.
Dragon Ball is that even going back to um really going back to the Future Trunks arc, but certainly by the time we get to Dragon Ball Super, canon doesn't matter because technically everything's canon. Because
Mm-hmm.
they established that the Kais with the time rings have the ability to travel through time, and when they change something, it just creates an alternate timeline. But going back to the Future Trunks arc, they already established that Trunks created an alternate reality when he went back to the past because it wasn't really the past. He just went to a different timeline.
You know what? That's actually a really good theory, and I think that's what they're going to end up doing. They're going to mix it all in like Dragon Ball Heroes or something. But
So
yeah,
that's
that's
what
actually a good
pisses
point you bring up.
yeah, that's what pisses people off is when I say technically Dragon Ball Heroes is technically canon insofar as anything that happens in a Dragon Ball universe is canon in that timeline. But it's very confusing because they mix Back to the Future time travel logic along with multiverse theory, and they do
Right.
both.
Bro, I love that scene within Endgame. I know I keep referencing Endgame, and it wasn't nearly as good as Infinity War. Let's just put that out there. But um yeah, they explained that one pretty eloquently within Endgame too. They're like, so Back to the Future is BS? Yes, it is BS. See, the way that the Hulk explained it is perfectly true. He's just like, you can't go into the past, which that itself becomes the past to change your future. Like that's not how it works.
But ironically, Back to the Future gets it right when they do change the past. It creates an alternate reality that they then have to go back and correct. But time
I would
travels.
anticipate it's more like the butterfly effect.
I mean, that's on it. Well, I mean, that's multiverse theory makes a lot more sense for a lot of different reasons. Not least of which being that, yeah, I mean, you're right. Hulk puts it pretty. He's like, no, because if you go back to the past, that becomes your future. Because relatively
Right,
speaking, like
right,
we are always moving forward in time, regardless of theoretically where we are in it,
right. And the future you just came from now becomes the past.
relative to you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah,
all right.
because relativity is a bitch.
Yeah, but I'm excited. I like your point on that. I'm actually going to start using that. And what I'm most excited about is that new Rymus guy. He's the
Mm,
god of creation, and Zeno. Some people like Ethan already figured this out, but I actually messaged him before he put his video out about it, so I'm gonna take credit for it, even though I know he's smart enough to do it on his own. But Zeno is the god of destruction for Rymus.
mm. That makes sense though,
Hmm.
because we've
Well,
never
there's so
seen
many
Sinnoh.
universes. You
Yeah,
remember that multiverse scene? There's so many universes out there, so many more than what that we thought, and so many universes were made from the demon realm. So like the demon realm is like its own universe, multiverse thing, and then it had little branches that went off into different universes. Those things have to be cleaned up, just like universes themselves do. The multiverse has to be cleaned up, and that's what Xenos for. He can just snap one away.
yeah. Well, and then so there's two things that you got to address when you're talking about the demon world, which I think this is where a lot of Americans in particular get lost. The word demon carries a very different, which first of it's technically not. So Daima, it is a made up word, but Daima means demon realm, right? the the word the word demon in the English language carries a very different connotation between how it is translated into Japanese. First of all, there's a lot of different words that mean a lot of different kinds of demons and malevolent and
It's not
benevolent.
automatically evil.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, and that's the other thing. So Japanese demons, I say in air quotes, is, it encompasses a lot of different things. Some
Hmm.
are malevolent, some are benevolent, and it just, so demon realm would essentially, I guess the best way to describe it in like a sort of direct to English translation, demon realm would just be another plane of existence,
Exactly.
kind
Yeah.
of. Okay, so Mortal Kombat, demon realm is kind of like Adenia, which became
Okay.
Outworld after. I mean, it's just another
Yeah.
realm, you know.
Hmm.
But because of the Judeo-Christian sort of influence on the West, generally speaking, we hear demon. Most of us hear demon, and we think, oh, bad devil, horns, pitch, all that imagery, and it's not a clear cut divide. And then and it's got to remember. I think I've mentioned this before in a previous podcast we did. Piccolo Junior's name that he enters himself in the World Martial Arts Tournament is Ma Junior, which literally just means Demon Junior.
Hmm. I'm glad you knew that. I wasn't sure if you knew that.
Yeah, it depends on what version of the English dub you hear, but
Yeah.
I think since they did Kai and all the subsequent redubs, even the announcer at the World Martial Arts Tournament identifies Piccolo as Ma Junior. Actually, I think it might have even been before Kai.
Yeah, yeah, I was.
Yeah,
That's the cool thing about it though, is that at first that's what Toriyama seemed to be intending. And then he wrote it differently later because Dabura was supposed to be the king of the demon realm and he looks like the devil.
I
So
was
that
gonna
was
say
the
yeah,
original way they were going.
and that's what everyone in the comments will do was like, yeah, but I'm like, yes, but that's obviously pulling from Christian imagery, which Toriyama has done from time to time. Not just
Dude,
Toriyama.
all of Daima is like a mix. It's like Star Wars and Looney Tunes combined. That's what it is.
It's a really good comparison. But the other thing, so in terms of the different realms, is a lot of people don't know this either. There's a lot of, I'm not going to even just say anime and manga, but there's a lot of Japanese storytellers, because this is the case in a lot of video games too. Japanese storytellers take a lot from Norse mythology pretty often. And the way sort of the planes of existence in Dragon Ball are actually really reminiscent to the nine realms of Norse mythology.
Hmm.
Because once again, like in Norse mythology, you have hell, which is where we get the English word hell from, but it's a totally different thing. It's not it's not the same conceptually. So when we hear hell,
Right.
we have a pretty distinct imagery because of, the divine
Right. Even
comedy
in
for the
Greek
most part.
mythology, it's like its own realm.
Yeah, Hades is a little bit different, but that's but even it has levels, right? So,
Yeah, it has levels, yeah. He's not just purely demonic all the time and stuff like that.
well, no, and it's
Like the
funny.
way we think of it.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny about Hades as a god in the Greek pantheon, this is quite funny because of like the Disney film Hercules, right? Hades is actually a pretty decent guy overall, like generally speaking. He's one of the more, I don't know, because I don't like to say good because there's really not that many members of the Greek pantheon that are like cut and dry good or cut and dry evil. It's just most of them are
Yeah.
snarky little shits that don't really care.
You
But
took the words
Hades,
right out of my mouth.
yeah, but Hades is generally speaking a pretty good dude.
Well, the Clash of the Titans, the way they depicted him, that was pretty good with the Kraken in there and everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
That one was pretty good. How he makes up with Zeus, his brother, and all that. I like that. That was decent.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like Hades has a job, to
That's
bury the
yes.
soul. Yeah, he's like a god of destruction. That's his job. He's supposed to do it for the benefit of the universe.
Which, oh my gosh, talk about another concept that a lot of Westerners just can't wrap their heads around, and where the concept of a god whose job it is to go around and destroy shit, to wipe it from existence, to somebody that's more familiar with particularly Buddhist philosophy, but even like Buddhism and Shintoism, like, yeah, it's a balance thing.
Yeah, well, it's like Apocalypse said, and I don't care what no one says. You're about to get a hot take right here. You can disagree with me if you want. We can argue about it. But I really, really, really like the Apocalypse X-Men movie. X-Men movie. I really like that movie. I understand why everyone hates it. I really, really do because they did a trash apocalypse. Like that, it was nothing compared to the comics how it was. But if you forget the comparison and just take it for what it is, I really like the movie.
It wasn't horrible. Dark Phoenix was way worse.
Oh yeah, for sure,
I
for sure,
mean,
for sure.
Dark Phoenix makes a X-Men Apocalypse look like I'm not in game. Well, no, probably in game. Probably makes it look like in game in comparison. Speaking of X-Men, though, did you watch X-Men '97?
Of course I did. It was on. Oh man, oh you know how hard it is for me not to bring up culture war stuff. It's very hard for me. I just instinctually do it, and I don't want to bring it on your show, but
You can bring
I
it on our
love
show. We don't give a
X-Men
shit.
97.
Oh, I
Okay,
loved it.
okay.
It was
X-Men
great.
97 was the most right-wing cartoon you've ever seen in your life, and it was epic.
It was very good, and a lot of people were worried that it was going to be like this super woke thing, but that was
Well, that's why they fired that guy. I don't care what no one says. All the people on the left, they always try to say, "Oh, it was because of him. He wrote it." I'm like, no, he was the diversity hire that was trying to ruin the show, and everyone else in the background was making the show great. I'm glad they got rid of him. It's obvious,
holy
that it
crap
was the
though.
right
How did
decision.
how did they make it better than the original?
I don't know. That's a big feat. But see, this is the point. Hollywood knows how to make good movies. Bro,
Yeah.
bro,
Oh
bro,
yeah.
bro, 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 bro. I can't believe I even forgot to tell you about this. I'm about to go on a mini rant because I already put out a video with spoilers and everything, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm gonna tell everyone who watches the stream. Y'all better listen to me when I say this. Sonic 3 was the most amazing movie of 2024, possibly, if not tied with one or two other ones. It was awesome. It was movie critic here. Movie critic hates Hollywood and everything that they've been doing with the whole agenda and all that stuff. It was perfect.
It
Every
seemed
time
that
I
way.
every time that I thought it couldn't get better, it got better. That's how good. Go and see it this weekend. Go and see it whenever you can. Sonic 3 is the best out of all the three films by far. It's not even close. I'm telling you, everything was amazing. Jim Carrey, sometimes he gets a little too cringy on his humor. Not this one. Oh no, he nailed it out the
park on this one. The action scenes, I'm telling you, when Shadow and Sonic fight at the end, it looked like Dragon Ball Z. I am not joshing you. It looked like Dragon Ball Z. Like it was epic. If this movie doesn't make $1 billion, I'm going to be offended.
No, I've been pleasantly surprised with the Sonic movies because as somebody who like I loved Sonic when
Get
I was a
ready.
kid. Like I
You
love
ain't ready.
Sonic
I'm
when
telling you, bro.
oh no, I'm taking your word for it because when I was younger, I was a really big fan of the darker Sonic cartoon, not the lame ass episodic one. I mean the one that actually had a story. Huge fan.
Yeah.
But then I was never really into the games. I was into the show, right? And then when they were
Okay.
talking about the first movie coming out, I saw well, we all saw the first trailer, and thank God they changed it.
Bro, that
Fucking
that
nightmare
is the
fuel.
power of the internet and culture done the right way.
Well,
Like,
have you heard the conspiracy theory about that?
possibly, I don't know which one you're talking
So
about.
the conspiracy theory is that they released the bad artwork on purpose to get people interested in the movie.
Oh, oh, okay, okay. I
And you
mean,
know
that's
what?
a great.
Because the thing is, at first I was like, "Oh, come on, no." And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know, I kind of see it. I kind of see it.
Oh yeah, it it could have been a master plan, bro. But one thing that did happen, maybe they planned this out too. Maybe they did, but I don't personally think they thought this far. But they moved the release date like 3 months back.
Yeah,
Like,
and so that is kind of the big reason why. So what's probably true is something in the middle is the not the showrunner, but I forget the guy's name who I mean he's great because he's brought this franchise out. Um, but the people behind it were there was probably studio interference that said no, he can't look like a cartoon because this is live action, and they went okay, you know. And then the trailer came out and they took it into the studio heads were like, see, we told you. Let us fix it.
maybe, maybe. But I'm telling you, man, go and see Sonic 3,
Oh, I
man.
know.
I,
Oh, because here's the
oh,
thing.
it's so good.
I liked the first one. I liked the first one a lot. And then when Sonic 2 came out, I was like, this is the one where they're gonna if they're gonna fuck it up, they're gonna fuck it up here. Because they're gonna go too far and they're gonna do something stupid. And then
Yeah,
holy shit, dude,
it,
Knuckles. Oh my God.
bro. Who would have ever thought in a million years that Knuckles could be voiced by Idris Elba and it worked stupendously? See, this is how you know Hollywood does have talent. They do have people who can make great stuff still. They are there. That was an ingenious idea. I would have never thought about in a million years.
But
So
here's the
props to them.
key.
And he is just as good in this one. He is even better in this one. I'm not
Yeah.
kidding.
But here's the key to it. And this is the thing that like so I don't think you're a big pro wrestling fan, but this is a great example. So this is what I always talk to. We just did a video not too long ago. It was a short clip. We were talking. I don't know if you know who any of these people are, but if people watching are into wrestling, you'll know this. So there's a wrestler in AEW called Orange Cassidy that I can't fucking stand for
Okay.
obvious reasons. His gimmick is he's essentially a human sloth. He puts his hands in his pocket, slow kicks people in the shins, and the crowd gets into it for some reason, and then he wins matches. But then you have R Truth, who is in WWE, and he's a legitimately good wrestler, athlete, all this. He's played a clinically stupid moron for the better part of 10 years. But the weirdest thing is when he does it, I'm entertained. And here's the
Okay.
difference, though. Here's the difference, though. Our truth never, ever looks in the camera and winks at it.
Okay.
Orange Cassidy's whole gimmick is winking at the camera. Our truth plays it straight from A to Z. And Idris Elba, when he's playing Knuckles, even when the key to playing a good comedy character is that whoever's portraying the character takes it 100% seriously. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're in on the joke, but they never break. They never because the second you turn to, with the exception of Deadpool, but that's the character. When you turn and wink at the camera, you're letting the audience know that hey, I think this is silly too, and that's when it all falls apart. So
Hmm.
that's the key.
Okay.
Idris Elba is in that booth portraying Knuckles as someone who takes everything seriously, and that's where the
Yeah.
comedy comes from.
But you want to know when he voice acts, Knuckles at least, it doesn't come off like he's trying. It flows so naturally. I'm telling you,
Because
man, like his Knuckles is perfect. And
because
in
he's
this one,
working the gimmick.
it's even funnier in this one, man, because then we know what kind of character he is, and it's also accepted what Knuckles is. He's the power, he's the muscle in this one. So the jokes that he made, I'm gonna go ahead and spoil one for you, but they make fun of Tails. He's just like, there's this one guy, I think it's Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey. He's just like, did someone hear something, or was that a Pikachu talking? And he's just like, he does look like a Pokemon. Pika Pika. It's so funny, man. It's so funny to hear Idris say Pika Pika. Oh my God, you're gonna lose your
Oh
shit, man.
God,
It's so
yeah,
good.
no, I'm excited because I figured it was going to be good.
No,
Um,
bro, like I was not expecting how good it was. It is a 11 out of 10. It is perfect. It is
I don't
better
know
than
how they're
perfect.
doing it. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know how they're making these movies so good about a blue hedgehog, a two-tailed fox, and an echidna with giant fists. I don't know how they're making these movies as good as they are.
Bro, and not I don't mean to get into this, but I'm super serious. I love talking about this because number one, this relates to Dragon Ball Z. The fight at the end, oh my God, bro. Like you know how in Dragon Ball they they show up for like a second, do a cool move, and then they disappear and they do it all over the screen. Choo 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 everywhere. They do the same thing, but across the whole earth. They literally go to the moon, bro, and the fight looks like that. Like it was some Piccolo Goku stuff here. That it was
Shit.
that good. I'm not kidding, man. That their fight was amazing. The effects, everything was just perfect. And you want to know another reason why this movie is so perfect, bro? They even have it's mainly in one scene, and it's Jim Carrey because he loves to insert his politics within it. There's actually some woke jokes in there, and they are hilarious. They are perfect. They're in good taste. They're left and they're in good taste. Like Jim Carrey makes this one comment, this snide comment. He's just like, I can't believe it. And then his alternate self goes, I know, right? A woman in the military. And it's so good, bro. It lands so good. I'm telling you, bro. And then he's just like, yeah, this woman and her emotional support animals, like it's so good, bro. It's so good.
Oh my gosh. But so just a side comment for those watching, if you are into pro wrestling, you should check out the Down the Middle podcast. That's the second link in the description. And then also, I'm sure you all saw the bumper at the beginning of the episode. First link in the description. Go vote for the Average Intelligence podcast in the 2024 Artie Awards. Voting is open until December 31st. Go vote for us. You know you want us to win. You know you do.
Yes, we do. I already did that.
That's right, he did.
Yes, I had you got you on the first day. Just with the wrestling stuff, I've actually come to appreciate wrestling just a little bit more because I didn't really understand it back in the day. But
Hmm.
you have to understand also too, man. Like I try to get into it a little bit, but it's not even the wrestler's fault. There is nothing more infuriating than whenever I see people who like the WWE or they just see John Cena and they're like, you couldn't beat him in a fight. Oh, just make me hate wrestling, why don't you? Just make me hate it.
Fortunately, those people are few and far between. Because and
Oh, met a lot of them.
here's the frustrating thing about being a wrestling fan, and this is my favorite. Actually, it's not frustrating for me because I love to make this point. Anytime somebody finds out you like pro wrestling, they're like, you know, it's fake, right? And I'm like, yeah. You know what else is fake? Every action movie you've ever seen, every
Yes.
movie you've ever seen, every TV show you watch, except that when that guy jumps off of a 5 foot ring post and drops his entire body weight on a dude, like, yeah, there's things they do to protect themselves, but he ain't on a fucking wire. Like,
Yeah,
that's
but you
legit.
you also have to give. Oh, sorry.
No, no, that was it. That was all I was going to say.
No, I was just gonna say that, but these dudes are actually athletes, man. Like
You
they
have to
they
be.
actually you actually do take hits. They're not full power, but even accidents happen. You have to be ready for that. Like
Well,
these dudes are tough.
yeah, the accidents are fucking gnarly. I watched one
Yeah.
happened on AEW, and this is the perils of live television. Ray Phoenix, who somehow has an off switch for gravity because some of the shit he can do with his body, I just can't believe. But he did a spot where I forget the move he did, but he came down on a table, except his arm. Um, he landed on it and it bent the opposite way that arms bend. And you saw this happen.
Oh,
You saw this happen on live television. And I watched that and I
oh,
went, oh, fuck. And there's times you're watching a match where, and these are the best matches where somebody takes a move and it legitimately looks like he fucking killed the guy. I've seen him.
if
There's
you
a
were to
moment.
actually take that move like they do, it could kill you.
Well, there's a spot that I always reference. It's Shelton Benjamin doing a springboard off the top rope and then taking a super kick from Shawn Michaels, which is just a side kick, like a step side kick. But holy, it looks like Michaels took his fucking head off.
Oh,
And then you see Shelton Benjamin in interviews being like, I don't even think he touched me. And it's like, God damn it. Like, it looks like he fucking killed him. It looks like he
I
killed the
would
guy.
love to be able to do something like that, man, because I know some real fighters who actually do like wrestling and stuff. But what they know how to do, and something that I know how to do better than anyone, is they know how to. Yeah. Have you watched Baki yet?
I've seen a little bit of it. I can't, I know what you're talking about.
Do you remember the Zhao Li where they relax their bodies and just let the punch flow through them? I
Yeah,
know how to do that. Like everyone thinks that I'm just ultra tough, and I am, but it's
you
that's
are.
not the secret. That's not the secret entirely to taking every hit. You don't just take every hit. Sometimes you just let them. You. If you watch some of my fights, you'll see me do it. Where they'll hit me, and I'll just like, "Whoop," and
Yeah,
I
you
won't
roll
even
with the
care.
punch. Yeah.
Yeah, just roll with it. Like even in the body or anything like that. And if you're able to do that, you can make some very convincing choreography.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah. Oh, and the thing, yeah, maybe you should go to wrestling school. Might be your calling.
Maybe, but there's already enough people in there. There's surprisingly a lot of people who still want to do that stuff.
Hey man, the brick wall is a great name.
Yeah, maybe if I was a little bigger, but no one's gonna really just buy that. Oh, he's the toughest man in the world and he's, 5'10", 5'11". Bro, I got so mad the other day. I've been measured 5'11" by many height people, and there have been some people who've got me on 5'10", but yeah, this doctor, she measured me and I was like, uh 5'10" and a sixth of a tenth, like 60%. And she was just like, "Yeah, you're not 5'11. It's not even really like a millimeter or anything." And I was just like, I got so ticked off because she said it choked. I was like, "Round up. It's okay, round up." I think I'm starting to get a little older, man. You know how we shrink as we get. I think I'm starting to get a little old.
Oh shit.
Ugh.
Well, no,
You must love. Oh,
what's that?
sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say before you give up on your pro wrestling dreams, because I understand why you think that, but do yourself a favor, YouTube Darby Allen.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. Um, he's another one who, and this is the funny thing. So Darby Allen does all the things that I should hate, but the way he does them, a lot of guys when they do some of these moves, they look more like a gymnast. See, the thing is when Darby Allen throws himself at a motherfucker, he looks like they're both dead. Like I don't know how he does it. And he's got this really weird charisma. But Darby Allen might legitimately be one of the toughest sons of bitches on planet Earth. But he might weigh 160 pounds, maybe.
I might be willing to do that because I actually look like that guy. If I didn't look like him, then I wouldn't do it. But it's somewhat believable. Maybe one day. But I was just gonna say too, you must love Geekdom 101 a lot because he is a huge pro wrestling fan and Dragon Ball, as we're
I
talking about.
only just recently found out that he was into wrestling, and
Bro,
like
he
yeah,
loves it.
I know. I only just now found out. Found a random
Check out his
video of
channel,
this.
bro. There's a
Oh,
secondary channel called Geekdom.
yeah, yeah. No, I do. And actually, it's funny because thus far we agree 100% on basically everything, including that Tony Khan is a fucking clown and shouldn't be booking anything. But we do have a comment. Emerald Crown says that Canelo is ducking Benavides.
Oh. Bro, like I don't know. Why would Canelo duck anyone when he has those judges giving him wins like that?
Uh,
Bro, did you see the UFC event with Surreal Gone and Spivak?
Not that particular one, no.
Bro, the same judge who gave Canelo that victory against Triple G judged that fight and completely ripped off Spivak. The MMA community has never been more furious. You should look it up. So
See,
badly ripped off. I know she judged my fights. I knew she was in the background influencing them. I know she was.
well, it's interesting you bring that up because ever since your last fight, I've been really thinking about that because even I had a fight where everyone knew that, and I'm not a great fighter, but everyone said that I clearly won just from a number of shots landed perspective, and they never really got me. Like obviously you don't win in Taekwondo normally by knocking somebody out, so it's a little bit different. But
I'm
like I don't know.
surprised.
I think well, I mean, no,
I
actually
know why.
I did see one kid get knocked out and they disqualified the kid that knocked him out. And
Oh,
I'm like last time I checked this was a contact sport. Like and I mean fuck, we're wearing head protection. What more do you want? Like don't put your if you don't want to get knocked out, keep your hands up.
Karen just wants him to have the confidence.
Eh, eh. Like I'm all for like don't get me wrong, I'm all for safety and all, but I mean at the end of the day it's still a combat sport.
Yeah, what's more safe? You getting knocked out whenever you're 12 years old or something like that, or going through the rest of life thinking that you're some Billy badass and then finding out for real who you are on the pecking
Find
order.
finding out for real. And I will tell you right now, well, like you're aware of this, but I think everybody should get knocked unconscious at least once in their life because
Hmm?
you get respect real quick. It's not
well,
fun.
yeah, yeah. No, it's not at all. I remember the first time I got choked. I didn't even pass
Oh,
out, but he just put it on me for a little bit on the carotids. I went blind in my left eye for like 5 hours. I was scared. I was like, "Oh, okay. I'm gonna respect this ground thing, whatever it is." Okay.
Jew, what?
Yeah, like that's what it was. I was scared. I thought I was gonna go blind.
Oh my God! Speaking of like getting respect, going back to Dragon Ball Daima, sometimes I dislike this aspect, and sometimes I think they're doing a good job with it, where it's clearly Goku's stronger than everyone down there, and yet the show is still somehow engaging. Like the
Uh,
half the show has basically been Goku being like, "Oh, you think you're tough down here, huh? Let a
well,
child whoop your ass."
yeah. I a lot of people know this about me already. I've mentioned it to you, but we hadn't really gone into detail. But I do not like Goku as a character. I don't. He is so dumb and he is so childish and he makes the most wrong decisions. And like he's like that girl who keeps screaming when the monster's coming so that they can know where they are. Like, oh, he just makes every situation worse. I can't stand him. I really can't.
Well, yeah, they even had the bit, and I think it was episode 10 where he's like, "Don't worry, I'll stay in guard," and then they find him
Yes.
asleep.
Yes. I was like, oh, no.
See, they just
Uh,
don't know Goku. Well, Shin should know better, but
well,
yeah.
Shin is apparently a dummy too.
Well, Shin we've since he was established in the show, we've Shin has been established as a not terribly intelligent character,
Oh,
kind of from day
yeah.
one.
Yeah. Although, but once again, I do like the multiverse drops that we're getting. I'm excited to see what Rymas can do and King Dabura's dad, Dabura or whatever his name is.
Oh
I
God,
don't know how
what's
you
his
say
name?
it. Abura, I think is how you say
Abra.
it. I think that's how you say it. But I'm excited to see what they do with him. Like we got
Well,
a lot of
somewhere.
lore dropped on the last one.
Yeah, see, the thing is, somewhere in the demon realm, there's going to be somebody that can stand toe to toe with Goku and Vegeta and all them. There's got to be. Otherwise, they're just going to clean house.
Well, that's the interesting thing about Tamagami number one. Like he
Hmm.
didn't even seem to be trying that hard whenever he beat Majin Ku.
Right.
So what's the potential on that guy? It's gonna be a lot harder. He was a sport too. He wasn't even phased by him at all. He let him hit him. It was just like whatever.
Well, but see,
So
I
that
took
dude's
that.
probably really strong.
Yeah, I don't know what to take that as that Majin Ku is just weaker or if like you said that he that what is it,
Tamagami.
Tamagami, yeah. Oh, what does Tama mean? Because Gami means okay. Anyway, yeah, Tamagami number one. I don't know if it Tamagami number one is just a fucking unit or if Majin Ku just is weaker. I can't tell
Um,
yet.
in my opinion, I don't have any facts to verify this, but we'll find out as the show goes along. But in my opinion, I don't think Majin Ku is that much stronger than Majin Buu.
Right, that yeah, that's kind of what I'm alluding to. But in the demon realm, everybody just seems to be so fucking weak that like
Yeah, but that being said, though, yeah, Deborah wasn't able to beat the Tamagamis, so it makes sense that the Tamagami is above Kid Buu, and Kid Buu is already multi-solar system, and he could rip the universe apart if he gets angry enough.
yeah,
But so he's already like probably a universal character close to it. He at least galaxy, multi-galaxy level, something like that. He's probably stronger than the original Boo, but we don't know. But that being said, the original Boo is an ant now compared to the Saiyan gods and stuff
this
like
is
that.
true.
So
Yeah. Which fortunately
so yeah.
that's not been established yet because Daima's before the events of Battle of Gods, but
You
because
know what I'm
otherwise they'd
hoping
just be
for?
OP as fuck.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm hoping for? I hope Majin Ku ends up training with Oob. Maybe that'll happen.
I okay, so this is a bit of a hot take for me, but I think you'll probably agree. I actually really like Oob as a character. I just think they treated him really poorly in GT.
Oh, well,
Yes and no. There's good aspects and there's bad.
yeah,
I just don't
yeah.
like how we got.
I'll agree with that.
I just don't like how he got nerfed at the very end when he was, he was standing. I don't know if you'd say he was standing toe to toe with Baby, but he was holding his own.
Yeah,
And then
I
post
like that.
fusion, yeah, I see. I love that. I want because Oob to me, the reason I like Oob so much is because Oob finally let like a normal human, which I guess he's not a normal human, but biologically normal human to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder potentially with the Saiyans, at least in base form, which is, that's not nothing. That's at least
Yeah,
something. And like when I played Dragon Ball Xenoverse, I'm proud of my species, man. I made my character human. I didn't go Saiyan, even though like we all want to be a Super Saiyan, but got to represent the old human race.
yes,
You know,
sir. Now,
slap the shit out of them.
yeah. There's a lot of problems with GT, as everyone knows, but I actually didn't mind what they did with Oob. I thought they gave him a pretty decent power up. They really did. Like
No, it was
he
just at
wasn't
the
able to
end.
be on Super Saiyan 4. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it, but I actually wasn't too unhappy with his character in GT.
Well, and the first fight with him and Goku is legitimately good. Like it's a
Yeah,
legitimately good watch.
yeah, and like I like that they expand on that story. I hope they bring back more of that. Like we get to see Goku actually train with Oob and stuff like that. I love seeing dynamics like that.
Well, and it's funny because I was thinking earlier today because I knew we were going to talk about Daima, and inevitably the question comes to once Daima's over, where do we go from here? Especially without Toriyama. I mean, obviously you can continue the super anime to a point because now there's more manga to adapt, but I mean, once Dragon Ball Super wraps up as a story, where do you go? Does Dragon Ball just fade into the sunset, or do you do more side stories like Daima? And the reason I
Oh,
bring that up,
they're never going to end with the side stories, bro. It's
I
never
don't
going to
think
end.
so. See, I don't think so either because Dragon Ball's too big of a moneymaker. But one interesting side story could be like you wouldn't call it this, but like Dragon Ball Oob, which is just the
Yeah,
story of Goku training Oob. I'd watch
bro,
the
I'm
shit out of
sure
that
you've
show.
seen. Heck yeah, I'm sure you've seen it. But have you seen Dragon Ball Absalon?
Mm-mm.
How dare you call yourself a Dragon Ball fan? How dare you?
Well, I didn't know it existed, so
Bro, how did you not know it existed? Okay, do you remember that was my same reaction when Eric told us that he had not seen Abridged? That's the
yeah.
same reaction I'm giving you, bro. Like, oh my gosh, you need to go and watch it. You need to go and binge it. He only releases like a
Oh,
video once
hang
every
on.
year or two.
No, I have seen. I've seen part of this.
You just didn't know what it was, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I think I've seen the first episode.
Oh, okay. Well, go and watch the rest of the episodes, man. They're shorter. So, bro, like it's so good the way he puts in the old school music with the power-ups. His strong suit is not the animation. His strong suit is the voices and effects. Like that's it. His dialogue and everything, the effects around it, that's his strong suit. Bro, it's so good. It's so good.
I've got it bookmarked.
Yeah, yeah, watch that, man. It's epic. But yeah, I absolutely want to see that. I love the little spin-offs like this. Like, according to Geekdom, and I believe him, I'm going to go ahead and report it as fact because what he says pretty much is fact. You know what? I'm going to give him a little bit of a shout out right now. Geekdom, I know that you were so ticked off with everyone dissing your credibility and you did not deserve it whenever the pandemic actually got in the way of the super release and the movie releases and everything because he had the early scoop before super ever came out or different movies came out and everything. He had the scoop, like he had it a year ahead of time, maybe even like closer to two. He
Yeah, I
had the
remember.
scoop.
Yeah, yeah, I remember him
And
talking about
then
it.
and
But
then the pandemic happened and then it threw off all the release dates.
like, no, hang
Well,
on, hang on, hang on. People were seriously giving him shit because releases were
bro,
delayed.
they absolutely they were. Bro,
That's
you
stupid.
want to hear him go off? And I saw the comments for myself, man. There were thousands of people dissing him, saying, "Man, you're a fake guy. I thought I believed in you." Blah blah blah. They were really that dumb. They were really that dumb. And
Well, yeah, that's
let
just
so
dumb.
So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and report it as fact because his reporting is actually true. Like, here's another example. A year and a half ahead of time, I remember a year and a half ahead of time, he already knew all the spoilers for Matrix 4. He already had the whole story, and it came true, all of it. Warner Brothers even blocked his video on it, which proved that it was true. Which is, that they're spiting their own selves. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and report it as fact that Dime is only going to last till March.
I can see that.
This they're going to go through the Tamagamis, set up another story, and then it's going to be over.
Yeah, I can see that because how much of this can you do?
Well, I genuinely thought that Daima was the next start of the next arc, but this is more just a side piece.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know when this was originally reported, but yeah, Toriyama, I guess, was very, which don't quote me on this, but Toriyama, I guess, was very clear that this is a side story because it takes place before the events of Battle of Gods.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. I thought we were getting an entire arc. I thought we were getting 500 episodes of Daima.
Oh, I don't know that you get 500 episodes out of it.
Well, we know for sure now it's not going to happen, but that's what I
Yeah.
genuinely thought when this started.
I think a lot of people did initially when they were first talking about it. I just knew the first thought that came through my head was like, oh, the show looks so pretty. And it is. Holy shit, the show's beautiful.
Yep, it is. It is. But they learned from their previous mistake. They didn't want
That
to
they
get
did.
memed to heaven and back about this one because Super,
Well,
they messed up so bad.
well, and thankfully this has been a trend that's steadily been becoming more and more regular. And I honestly, you can probably point to 100 examples where this started, where finally these Japanese animation studios learned that, hey, if we actually put money into this shit and stop trying to cut costs and cut corners everywhere,
And
that
time.
and yeah, well, that's the big one, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen, so there's I can't remember it. Anyway, there was a movie, it was an anime film. What the hell was it called? It's about a deaf girl, but anyway, it's a genuinely good movie. But I remember what stuck out to me the most about it was the opening animation.
Hmm.
It's a show, it's a movie that I probably would not have sought out on my own just in a vacuum. It ended up being a pretty decent movie, but what hooked me was just the opening animation. I'm like, okay, I'm
Okay.
intrigued, and it was
You
enough
can
to
get
hook me.
people interested. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah,
that important.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah, hugely. Now that being said, there's other, which these tend to be older, where the animation it's not garbage, but it's pretty stiff, and but the
But
story's
bro,
good enough.
stories were on a different level back then.
Yeah,
Oh
for sure.
man,
For sure.
those old school animes have some stories. Just tear your heart out and give it back to you so you can replace it yourself and then do it again in the next season.
Yeah,
Like
pretty
they
much.
got good stuff.
Well, because like a buddy and I were talking about Shaman King the other day, and I keep saying like I love Shaman King, but I'm telling you, I resisted it for so long because the art style is so cartoony that it initially turned me off for it from it.
That's believe it or not. I don't know if you watched this. You probably haven't watched this yet, but Kengan Asura.
Mhm.
No, it's discount Baki. When you see it, which you should, it's discount Baki. You'll see all the parallels and everything. It's not even a secret. They even rip off some of the character designs and moves and all that other stuff. But it knows what it is. And if you're not trying to fool around about who you are, then I can accept it and enjoy it for what it is.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
discount Baki. But it's like I'll be honest, what were we talking about before? I lost my point.
Shaman King, or just like older, old, like less than stellar animation, but a story that makes
Oh,
up for it.
yeah. I used to hate their animation. They're the first anime to do 3D animation, and I hated it. I hated it. But after a little while, it started to grow on me, and now I'm like, this is really good. In this third and fourth season, they drastically improve it, though. I mean, they sink money into it. These anime companies, to go along with your point, which is why I made this whole story in the first place, is that anime companies are starting to learn if you sink some money into it, it will pay off. And it's like the third most popular anime on Netflix, 6 months after it got released. Now it's been eclipsed, but it's
Yeah,
popular.
yeah.
Do a good
Well,
job and we will enjoy the product more and show you and give you the dollars for it.
well, and then going back to that, so I didn't resist it for too long, but I did. I shouldn't say I resisted it. I wasn't aware of how good it was. What initially got me interested to watch Attack on Titan was
Oh,
was the imagery of the Titans and how violent it was and how legitimate. Like, okay, so here's the thing you have to understand, which I know this sounds silly now because if you watched Attack on Titan, you know how the story changes and how it gets just so good. But initially, the first animations of Titans like actually, you know, eating and killing people, it's it used to be when it first came out, it was labeled legitimately a horror anime.
yeah. And
And
I
when you watch
remember,
that, yeah, when you watch
yeah.
that those early scenes, it makes sense.
Oh, bro, it gets you right off the bat. That first episode, that introduction, I
Holy
like that
shit.
kind of stuff, man. I love that kind of stuff. That's the way to grip me. And it gripped a lot of other people too. But man, it gets you right off the bat in the emotions. But I had never understood for so long why there were so many Levi fans. And then I was like, oh, that's why.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. I was like, I get it now. He is awesome.
I get it. I
I
get it.
cannot wait for the new movie to come out, man. Apparently, it's already been released in Japan, but they've kept it really secret and they're dubbing it here. Boy, they better come out with that soon.
Well, that's the other good thing about being an anime fan today is dubbing doesn't take nearly as long as it used to.
Bro, these youngins will never
They have no
know.
idea. They have no idea.
VHS tapes, the worst dub you've ever seen in your life, the most, just gross orange brick DVDs. You know, these kids will never know. They'll never know.
Well, I mean, maybe it depends on how old their parents are.
But they don't understand.
No, they don't. They don't understand. They also don't understand.
These kids today don't know what it means to wake up early for a cartoon because it's only on at a certain time. They don't
Oh,
know.
I miss those
They have
days,
no
man.
clue.
Oh
They
man,
can
my
sleep as late as they want and watch it whenever they want. These little spoiled bastards.
it's true. And then holy crap, fighting for if you grew up like I did, having to fight for the TV when Toonami came
They
on,
don't
they
know.
don't know.
You know how I've gotten into physical fights over that TV. Like, no, I was
Yeah,
here. You ain't having it. I'm gonna take it. Bam. No.
yeah. It's like, yeah, kids. There used to only be one TV in the house.
Hmm.
And
And it
guess
used to
what?
turn off.
Yeah, it used to turn off. It had this thing called an off button where periodically nobody would watch anything. And in fact, here's one that'll
But
fuck with you.
cable would turn off too.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say there used to be, because I know some of you don't know what television is, but for those that do, there used to be a time where at the end of the day, they just wouldn't play shit. There's nothing on the schedule. You turn to that channel and there would be nothing
There'd
on.
be like a flag or something.
Or
You were dead. That's what it
yeah,
sounded like. It's like someone had died the whole
yeah,
night.
basically. Either that or they would just do what was called paid programming, where people would pay for the airtime and try to sell you stupid shit.
Yep, exactly. It was nothing but commercials. There was no show. You just watching commercials all night. Maybe you could get the Weather Channel. Maybe.
Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe, maybe. But
That they'll never know how good they have it, bro. They can't even comprehend what it was like. But you know what? I'm
no.
sure that's how our parents used to look at us. You know, there was a time where there wasn't air conditioning. Bro,
And they were right.
yeah,
Just like
they were
just like
right. You know,
just like we were talking about before we started the stream, we were talking about that. It's like, yeah, our parents were right.
yeah. But I don't remember how old you are, bro. It's not to make fun of you, it's to make fun of me too. But like, there's that meme that you remember with the Seinfelds. They're all in their 30s and they're already balding most of their hair away and stuff like that. We're above them in Seinfeld probably, and we look better than them. So, I mean, there are some advancements in technology and our health that I appreciate,
No, yeah, no, definitely. Like I
but
always
we are
say,
spoiled a little bit.
100%. The difference is that when you could admit that, see, this is the thing.
Yeah.
I it annoys me when people talk about how rough it is today because it's like that's just demonstrably not true for the vast majority of people. Like some people have a legitimate shitty situation, but I'm talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
just like generally speaking, like the time you live in, it's never been better because of the technology that's readily available today was science fiction. When my parents were not my age, but well, no, actually, yeah. But when my parents were in their teenage years, the shit that I have today was literal science fiction. It was
Yep.
not real.
We had no concept at all. Remind me again how old you are?
37.
37. I'm 34. I'm not that far away from you. But you remember when we were kids, there was not even a concept, not even a thought, not even in our wildest imaginations could we have dreamt a cell phone.
Well, ironically, there was. So, like, I always point to this because we do the
But
Final Frontier
like how we
podcast.
have now, bro.
Believe it or not, believe it or not,
Really?
there. Okay, so I don't know. Are you a Star Trek fan?
Bro, I love Star Trek.
Okay, Star Trek
I
Deep
have
Space
watched
Nine.
every single episode at least twice.
Okay, well, first of all, I have to invite. Okay, so I have a couple questions, but my main point, you like Star Trek Deep Space Nine, I assume?
Deep Space Nine is even better than Next Generation.
High five. All right. Yeah,
I'm glad we agree on this,
I know
bro.
we were
It's
friends.
very rare that you find a Deep Space Nine fan.
Hakeem says I'm still waiting for my flying car, Elon. Believe it or
For
not,
real.
I know a guy. Um, but my point being, remember the data pads in Star
Yes.
Trek? So there was a concept, but it was science fiction. Now, obviously,
Okay. Okay.
touchscreen
Fair
techno
enough. Fair enough.
touch,
But like,
but
did
that's
we ever
that.
think that that was actually going to happen?
No,
That's my
no,
point.
no, no,
We
no,
never would have thought that that would ever happen in a million years.
no. But I got another thing that you probably thought would never happen. Did you ever think that you would be able to purchase a Dragon Ball candle? Well, guess what? Now you can, thanks to our friends at Stevie Wicks. You can get the 1 star ball, the 2 star ball, all the way through the 7 star ball, or you can get the entire set. I'm not saying that if you light them all at the same time that a wish granting dragon will appear and give you your heart's desire, but it's worth a shot. But
I'm
use
down.
the use the link in the description. Use promo code AIP to get 10% off your order, and plus the Christmas candles are available too. So while you're hunting for your Dragon Balls, get your girlfriend a Christmas candle too, and get one more gift crossed off your holiday list.
Bro, because you're my friend, and I know I've actually not committed to this before, which I'm surprised. But so my bad on that. But you know what? because y'all are my friends, I'm actually gonna buy a candle from y'all. I really will. When
Oh,
we're
just
done with
give
here,
me
I'm gonna buy a candle.
just give me your address.
Let me buy one. I
No,
got you.
no. I'll make you work for it.
No, 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 oh, no, no, no. Let me troll you a little bit on the internet in front of everyone. But I'm being real here too. But you're my friend, so I know you'll be cool with it. All right. I want to pay for it, but you motherfucking go and get my shorts and my videos, and I'll catch back up on all that shit. I done caught up on hundreds of yours, bro. Hundreds. I sent them in the chat and everything.
I know I always have to do your bat I always have to do yours in a batch just because when I get time to actually sit down and do all that, I will. But legit, send me your address and I'll send you one. Let me know what star you want to. I assume four because I mean
If you want to that one, but if there's another one that you haven't been able to sell much of, let me
no,
have that
one through seven. They're all made to order,
one.
dude. So it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Um, I'll take seven.
Seven? All right. 7 star. And then if you could plug in a video, that'd be nice.
Oh,
But
bro, absolutely, I got you.
but
Hey, my community tab been lighting y'all up. Like, there's at least what on average 40 people who like your posts, which means that you've gotten at least 4,000 to 5,000 views. At least 4 to 5,000 people have seen your. So I've been getting you good advertising, bro.
yes, we appreciate that. But I have another question for you.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite episode of Star Trek from the original series?
Oh. The original series with Captain Kirk, you mean, or Next Generation?
Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk. Okay. I will admit to you that I'm not as big a fan as them. I have no hate. I'm not hating on anyone who likes them better. You're older and you grew up with the OGs. You just like them. Cool. I've not seen all the episodes, although I have a most of Star Trek media. I haven't because it's not my favorite. But I have seen a few of them. So let me actually think on that one. I'm legit going to take a second to think. Okay.
Well, the reason being is because I would like to invite you on to the Final Frontier podcast as a
Bro, I'm so
as a
down.
as a guest red shirt. Um,
Bro, so
do
down.
do me
So
a favor.
you
Do
know,
me a
oh,
favor
you know
though.
what? I know my favorite episode. I know my favorite episode.
Which is it? I just want to make sure we haven't already done it.
Okay. The episode where Spock has to tell Captain Kirk about how Vulcans mate.
That's season 2, episode 1. Okay, we have
That's
time.
some
Perfect.
fire shit, bro. Like, because that's so personal for him to trust him with that is of such a beyond human thing that Spock was doing like that, and that's super big deal. And it's the exact opposite to what you think Vulcans would actually do, and
That's
but I
that's
love
the
seeing,
Yeah, that's the one where they end up fighting, right? Kirk and Spock
yeah,
end up fighting. Yeah, okay, that's a muck time. Season 2, episode 1. Perfect. That means we have time. So that means I have time to get you a red shirt to come on as a
bro,
guest
I'm
for the
so
Final
down.
Frontier.
Send
Perfect.
me that red shirt with that Dragon Ball and I will wear it.
Oh
I will
yeah, because
wear it with pride.
that's the only caveat to a guest, unless if we ever did nail somebody that was actually on the show, they're not required to show up in uniform. But
Sure, sure, sure.
I mean,
Yeah, but that would
we'd
be super cool.
we'd like
Although,
it if you did.
I'm not trying to down anyone's parade, but you know how many requests those guys get? Holy
Oh, I
crap,
know.
dude.
That's like I said. We got some growing to do. To do that. But I don't know if you've watched any of the Final Frontier, but god damn it, it's so much fun. Takes forever to edit those episodes, man. But
Is that the newer episode, the newer Star Trek stuff?
no, that's one that I do. No, we started,
Oh,
so it's
oh,
it's our it's
oh, you
our
mean
st
your you mean your podcast series?
yeah.
Okay, no, I'm gonna go back and watch some.
Oh fuck, you're gonna laugh because we have we
Okay,
have
I'm
we
gonna
have a
have
lot
fun
of
with
fun.
that.
We have a lot of
But
fun.
all right. Wait, we're not done. This is a good subject.
Yeah.
Um, who is your favorite character in all of Star Trek?
That's so
I know it's
hard.
a tough one. I already
I,
know mine, so
I think if you give me per series, I can answer that. But honestly, I have
first series, okay.
okay for which series specifically.
Let's just do those three. Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, yeah, original.
So original, believe it or not, when I was a kid, I was all about Captain Kirk. But as we've been rewatching it for the Final Frontier, I'm becoming a very big fan of Dr. McCoy.
Okay, okay.
I'm becoming a very big Dr.
I'm gonna
McCoy fan.
disagree with you there. I think he's annoying as shit, but all right. But
So does Kirk.
no, like, well, get this is what I mean. His personality type and my personality type are the exact opposite. I'm basically like Kirk personality, and he's the exact opposite. That's why they're always fighting. He always annoyed the shit out of me, but I do like his character. He's a good actor. I like what he does, all that stuff. I just that it rubs me the wrong way. I'm like arguing with him in Kirk's position. I'm just like, ugh.
Well, it's funny. There's a few. In fact, there's a couple back to back early episodes where McCoy threatens to basically say that Kirk's going to have to answer for it in the logs. But you know what? That completely flew over my head as a kid. But as an adult, and I'm like, I like that. I really like that because a couple of times Kirk does some really stupid shit, and McCoy's like, I don't know, Jim. This seems really fucking dumb, you know. But
Yeah, see, those scenes are funny. I don't dislike him. It's just my personality type doesn't match his.
hey, I get it.
For,
And for next gen, I probably that's tough because I don't particularly
oh
like
no, it's
Data.
not. Data, I would accept.
No, no, I don't like Data. Data's just Spock ordered from Wish.
How dare you? Okay,
Well, I mean, it's true.
I won't
Um,
fight you about it.
I mean, I probably on a gun to my head because again, fair enough. Did not. I was not a big Next Gen fan because my parents hated it. And
Okay,
I was the black sheep of my family because I love Deep Space Nine, and my parents were like
bro.
truists. You know,
Deep Space Nine
so
is the
good.
best. Like, it's so good. As I relate to Cisco so much. If I have a personality type, when I was literally watching with my girl at the time, Caitlin, like she was always just like, "That's so mother effing you!"
See, but that's the thing. So what I tell people all the time when they're talking about like the Kirk Picard debate, I'm like, just go with Cisco because he's the best of both.
Exactly,
That's why
exactly.
he's the better
But
captain.
but I still want to know that next gen favorite character. You can just come out with it.
I see. The thing is, I don't know, but gun to my head, I'd probably have to say later seasons Worf because Worf's really annoying in the first couple of seasons.
Bro, I'm
But
so down for that. I don't know why you think I would have a problem with that.
no, I don't think you have a problem with it. I'm just saying, like, Worf is annoying to me until some of the later seasons. And then
I still
honestly,
think that there is a. Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
oh no, I was just gonna say the first. I actually first season of Next Generation. I didn't care for it at all. I didn't particularly like it.
All good. I ain't hating.
It
I am
gets
not
better.
hating at all. As long as you like Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Well, and then by the time you get to the movies from the Next Generation, that's when it's. I mean, that's good shit. That's
All right.
Chef's
I know
Kiss.
you're about to agree. I'm gonna say this name, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that was cool. I should have thought of that." Blah blah blah. I still like Worf a little better. I already know exactly what you're gonna say. Q.
I don't like Q.
How dare you?
I find
This is the first time ever in my life I've gotten a prognostication wrong.
my favorite, one of my favorite moments in Deep Space Nine is when Q shows up and Cisco just punches him,
I
and then
agree. That episode is great. When he gets his powers taken away,
yeah,
like that's an awesome episode. Have you seen that one?
in Next Generation,
Yeah. There's an
yeah.
episode where he gets okay. I was about to say, bro, you don't like Q, go and watch that one. It's hilarious. He gets his powers taken away, and he literally thinks that his best friends, the people who are most likely to treat him the best, are the people on Enterprise. So they teleport him there and rip him of his powers, and he has to survive. And they put him in jail for like days. It's hilarious.
Yeah. No, that's a fun episode if you don't like Q especially. But
Yeah, yeah.
I say gun to my head for Deep Space Nine. I probably have to go with Cisco, but a close second would be Odo.
Odo, you know what? I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
Odo is
Um,
such a
I
great
like the I
character.
kind of like the Ferengi a little bit, bro.
Oh,
They're pretty funny.
I love me some Quark, man. Quark
Yeah,
is I fucking
he's
love
funny.
Quark.
Like, and he's a little scandalous thing.
But
Like
here's the thing, though.
he
Here's the thing, though. I pretty much like the entire cast of Deep Space Nine.
oh yeah.
There's nobody that really sticks out as like, a weak link or an unlikable character because even Bashir, who is supposed to be unlikable, by the time you get to the end of the series, like holy shit, if you want to know how to do a character arc, watch Deep Space Nine, specifically Dr. Bashir. Because he
Dr.
starts
Bashir,
out
yeah.
yeah, he starts out as this annoying fucking wet behind the ears, like, I'm here for adventure, doctor. And then by the end of
Yeah.
it, he's like this grizzled veteran who's been on the
Yep.
frontier and been through a war and like, yeah,
Bro,
it's
like
great.
you took my answer partially because I'm gonna answer the same thing. Cisco, of course, because I relate to him most personality wise. That story I told you was real. Um, but I would honestly gonna go with Worf. Like,
Worf's great in Deep Space Nine.
he's great, man. Like one of the top. I'd have to think about what the GOAT episode for Deep Space Nine is, but one of the top episodes for sure is whenever Worf is captured by the Jem'Hadar and they use him for
Such a
practice.
good episode. Oh my god, it's
So
so good.
good, bro. So good. He couldn't break him. He couldn't break. He wanted to break him, but he couldn't do it. But I love learning about Jem'Hadar lore. Like they live on average no more than 2 years.
Yeah,
Like
oh, I just,
cool.
God, that whole show is, I love the backstory you get
Bro,
with
bro,
Bajoran
sorry, don't
independence.
I gotta interrupt you. Let me be silly for a second. Bro, whenever Cisco is having a debate slightly when they're in a fight together about death, they're just like Jem Hadar have no fear of death. And then Cisco goes, I don't know about you, but I've always thought that nothing keeps you on your toes quite like a healthy sense of fear. I'm like, oh, that's so good.
That's
That's what
good.
I like. They can't
So,
write stuff like this nowadays. They can, just not a lot of them. Oh man, that's
yeah,
good.
it's the
Continue with your
whole,
story. I had to get it out. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, you're fine. The whole Dominion War arc is just,
Oh,
it's like I've had so many people
when
say
the
like,
Romulans turn on them. Oh,
yeah, Jake Sisko was a bit of a weak link, but he's also a kid, so
he's a kid. He's a kid. But there's that
it's
one scene, when he's threatening, his what was it? Uh,
Layun.
the the Ferengi, Quark, his nephew. What was his name?
Oh, Nog.
Nog, when he was threatening Nog, he was going to lock up Nog in jail. He's like, he's about to spend the best years of his life in prison. And he doesn't even, and he won't even have a chance. It just that whole conversation. And, Quark gives in, he shows a little humanity and just like, ooh, it's good.
See, my headcanon was always that Quark knew exactly what he was doing and kind of respected him for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Quark is smart. Like, don't
Quark's
let anyone tell
really
you
smart.
different. He's smart.
But I always like it because everybody, like, I just can't tell you how good that show was just from a writing perspective because everybody gets a chance to
Yes.
shine. Even the minor characters, like even Rom and Nog has a great episode arc where he gets injured in a battle and then he has to deal with PTSD and like
Yeah. And the
it's so
one where they
good.
show up on Earth back in the wrong timeline. Bro, it's such great episodes with
It's
Ferengi
great.
and humans. You would never think it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, women have to be naked. It's the law.
Which
Well,
is in the
I know,
40s,
I'm
right?
not going there, Jacob, and neither are you.
Yeah, oh God. And then God, you have Gul Dukat just is a fantastic
Oh,
character. Oh, it's so good.
yes, yes. Gul Dukat, because they turn at the end against the Jem'Hadar and the Changeling and stuff, and that's like the final tip of the iceberg, and they start to win.
See,
Oh,
here's
bro,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Only Deep Space Nine can do this, and you'll know who I'm talking about. Damar.
yes,
Only Deep
yes.
Space Nine can take a character who is introduced as a minor character, then becomes the biggest piece of shit on the show, and then by the end of
You
it,
hate him.
you're rooting for him, and he becomes a martyr, a legitimate
Yes,
martyr. That's good
yes.
writing.
Yes, bro, the scene is just one of the most iconic scenes to me, or it should be because it's sadly Deep Space Nine is not loved enough.
It's
Um,
not.
it really isn't. But the part where he goes and where he's just like
so you want to convince the Klingons to side with us, and he's just like, we're going to need a pretty big win in order to be able to convince them to join our side. He's like, I agree. That's why we're going to take back Deep Space Nine, and they're all like, and they make the most badass plan where the Klingons can be the most Klingon-y they've ever been, and just going in there and going all out, and they manage to take it over, and it's just so amazing. And when they make the Defiant, they've never made a ship that's only designed for combat ever before, but in this case, they made an exception. It's so
Until
cool.
now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Star Trek Enterprise?
It wasn't that bad. I watched it when I was young with my parents and we got into it, but it's nothing like the classics. It's not the most terrible thing I've ever seen. What's her name? Female Tuvok is cool.
To Paul, yeah.
Whatever. To Paul, man, man, she's hot as shit. But yeah, it's okay. I like the doctor in there. He was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Dr. Phil.
Um,
See, here's the thing. This is
I
controversial
I'd
too.
take Voyager over Enterprise any day. Voyager was actually somewhat decent.
See, I skipped Voyager just because of when it was airing. I was not. I don't even think I had UPN. I think that's why I didn't watch it at the time. But that being said, I'm getting into it. I like it. Okay. I love
It's not the best,
Enterprise.
but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've never said it was bad. I've always just said I haven't watched it. But Enterprise is legitimately good. It got a really bad rap when it started. Now, like, yeah, the first season is a little rough. They hadn't quite found their footing. The
Yeah.
last two seasons are really, really stupendous television.
Oh,
And
so
it
you
got,
have seen them.
yeah. Oh, no, no, of Enterprise.
Oh. No, you are right. There were many good moments in Enterprise. I'm just saying it's not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it has its moments, it has its good parts. I'm cool. If
Yeah.
you like it, I'm cool.
The thing is,
Voyager is better to me though, by far.
well, here's the thing about Enterprise though, is and I don't know about Discovery or Strange New Worlds because I haven't watched those yet.
Nope. Nope.
That's
Nope.
what I've heard. But of
Yeah.
of the good Star Trek, Enterprise feels the least like Star Trek. Honestly, it feels a little bit more like
It felt much more like our generation.
yeah, 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 for sure. And so
Yeah.
it was still Star Trek, but not quite. And I respect it for trying new things and all
Yeah.
that. It was different lighting. It was different, definitely different
Yeah.
uniforms. It had a different feel. Um,
Yeah.
I liked it. And so if you haven't given Enterprise a chance, I highly recommend you at least try it, but don't turn it off after one bad episode because just like every Star Trek series, there's great episodes, there's mostly good episodes, and then there's dog shit every now and again. Because even Deep Space Nine has bad episodes, but
Yeah.
we but
It-
we tolerate them.
although I enjoyed all of them, so whatever.
Okay, yeah. Well, like
There
the
are some
the
that are definitely better than others.
yeah, like the Kira fighting with the farmers episode. So,
Yeah.
I get it, but
Anything
it's
with Kira, I was kind of like, eh.
any
Anything with
Kira
her, and I'm like,
centric, yeah, any Kira centric episode I generally found kind of boring. But just like I recommend with Star Trek
Oh, I just hate
Enterprise,
how much of a female dog she is, bro. Just ugh.
I mean, kind of, yeah. But she did live through a
But
genocide, so
she has lots of cool moments too. So I'm not hating it. And she was the
especially
least.
later,
She was my least favorite part of a show that I love.
yeah. Well, and the good thing is Kira, everybody's got a great character arc because by the time you get to the later season, once Kira figures out that being a team player is better for her and everyone else, not only does she become more tolerable on screen, but she becomes a better officer.
Yep.
Instead of fighting Cisco all the time, they all learn how to trust and work together, and everybody benefits from it, including and
Yep.
especially the Bajorans. But like I
Yes.
said, same thing I said about Star Trek Enterprise. If for some reason you're watching this podcast and you haven't watched Dragon Ball Daima yet, and like maybe you're on the fence, same advice. Just give it a shot, but don't stop watching it after one, seemingly bad or boring episode because it does
If
have
there was anyone
highlights.
that was as skeptical about Daima, it was me.
Yeah.
But I watched it, I was like, hey, this is pretty good.
That's what I'm saying. It's like this is all right. This is all right. It
Yeah,
started out with a bang.
it's getting better.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I said,
So
I was starting to get kind of bored with it, but then Goku busted out Super Saiyan and I was like, okay, I'm back. I'm back. Let's do
yeah.
this. And then
You
they
know
even
what?
had
I'm gonna
that
do one
sort
more
of
thing. I promise I'm gonna get right back to the subject, but I gotta do one more thing on the Star Trek thing, just one more, and
go
then I'll
for it.
move on from it. I gotta quote my dad though. I gotta show my dad some love because he loves Star Trek Next Generation, especially. That's his favorite, I believe. Although he likes the OG just as much in a different way, though. But he loves the Jem'Hadar episode. Have you seen that one?
Oh, Next Generation?
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Okay, yeah, look it up. It's pretty darn good because the captain gets stuck on the planet with an alien. They were fighting up above, and there's this monster that on the planet that they have to work together to defeat, but they don't speak the same language. They speak in metaphor. The way that they talk is really weird. So
Okay, I'm
he has to
familiar with
figure out
that.
he figures out the language and how to be able to speak to him because he's so freaking smart. He problem solves, does all this other stuff, and it's so cool. He loves that episode. It's his favorite one. It's a good one. Just want to shut that out.
What is the metaphor? There's a lot of Star Trek memes.
Gem, I think I said Gem Hadar. Did I say Gem Hadar?
You did.
But
That's why I
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
confused. It looks kind of like a Jim Hadar, but
Yeah, no, no, that's what the monster looks like. That's what I
yeah.
was trying to say. The monster
Oh,
looks
I
like a
gotcha.
Gem Hadar. Like, um,
Oh shit, how about the episode where they find the Jim Hadar baby and Odo has to try to and he fails. And that's the wild part is
yeah,
people fail so often in that show and it's like there's so many things they do that go against like TV conventions at the time that are now like
yeah.
ubiquitous. Dark storylines, like long arcs, characters being imperfect, characters losing their tempers, making mistakes. Um, so actually, that's another thing. Did you watch the Orville?
Orville? No, I didn't actually.
If you like Star Trek, you should watch the Orville. It's the best
I've
Star
heard
Trek
lots of
show
good things
since Star
about it.
Trek.
I've heard lots of good things about it. I don't know if I ever will though. I've seen enough clips to know. I know it's good, but it's just not something that really piques me, but I promise I will give it a fair shot. Um,
The
at
clips you've
some
seen
point.
are probably the clips you've seen are probably the comedy bits, which don't get me wrong, it has funny moments. The show at its best has a lot of heart.
Okay. Uh,
It's a legitimately
I'm
good
gonna put
show.
it on the list. There's a big backlog, but I'll put it
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
list.
Sounds like my reading list, yeah. Um, I mean that's
I don't really
honestly
have
I
much
did
else to say about Daima though. Like,
I was gonna
give it
say
a.
I don't
I think the
either.
last thing we said was perfect. Give it a shot. It's actually way better than I thought it was gonna be.
Well, and here's the thing, even if you don't love it, even if you find it just okay, if you watch it, you're at least telling Toei, hey, make more.
You know how much money Crunchyroll's making now?
Oh, so goddamn much money.
Yeah, they're
Like
back.
holy shit, holy shit. Like,
They were struggling for a while, but they're back.
well, yeah, they were struggling for a while, but I think that's partially why uh, Funimation basically just fused with them,
Yeah,
merged. I think is a better because yeah, Crunchyroll was struggling there for a minute, and Crunchyroll goes through these phases where like sometimes the app sucks, and then they do a relaunch and it eliminates all the bugs, but then they'll do another update and it
Yeah.
sucks again.
They've been through it. They've gone all through the ups and downs.
But hey, I'm okay with it because at the end of the day, even when Crunchyroll does goofy shit, it's like they're trying to give you a platform where you can get all your anime in one convenient location. And mad respect for that.
Yes. I'm down for it. So far, they're doing a good job. They've definitely cleaned up. They've
Yeah.
adjusted a little bit more to the culture.
Yeah.
The
Well,
culture that was just,
yeah.
that's dominant now.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, and you and I appreciate it though because we lived in the Wild West when, hey, the anime you like might not even be available in English, and it might never
Yep.
be. Like, there's
Yep.
titles that they're dubbing now that I never thought they would. And it's really funny because some of them are being treated like they're new, and it's like, no, this anime is like at least 10 years old, but
Oh yeah.
they're just now getting around to doing an English dub for it because there's an appetite for anime, which hey, I'm here for it.
I am so down for it. Yes, sir, I agree. And you know what I hope they bring back? Bring back Kenichi, the mightiest disciple. Bring back. I want to see the rest of that.
Yeah.
And then I want them to do a crossover with Baki and have the master face Yujiro. That's what I want to see.
Oh, we may see it, but yeah, I think unless you got anything else to add about Daima, I think I'm ready to hit
Okay, you're gonna forget about me.
it.
You better get
Not
me in
at
the
all.
morning, bro.
Not at all. Yeah, actually, I should be able to tomorrow because I've got a lot of I should have a lot of
All
downtime tomorrow, but we'll see. Because
right, I'll appreciate it.
the minute I say I have downtime, I'll get fucking swamped tomorrow. So no promises, but
That's
I
how it
should be
always
able to
works.
hit
I
some.
know.
Yeah, that's why I don't promise anything. Because whenever I'm like, yes, I will absolutely do this for you on this day, then something fucking happens.
Well, I appreciate the Dragon Ball thing. I am going to, you can't stop me from sending you money, so but I appreciate the Dragon Ball offer.
Well, at least if you insist, at least use promo code AIP to save 10%.
AIP, I will do that.
Yep. Links in the description. Well, everybody, thank you for oh, there you are. Thank you for enjoying this episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast. Hopefully, you're a little bit less average and a little bit more intelligent. Probably not. I make no promises. But we
Yeah.
will see. We will see you guys next week. We have no idea what we're going to be talking about, but watch Dragon Ball Daima, watch Star Trek Enterprise, and definitely watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine because it's the best, hands down, bar
Yes.
none. It's just the best.
And
But
watch
until
Sonic.
and watch what?
Sonic 3.
Yes, watch Sonic 3. Which yes, I need to do that. I was gonna go watch.
Yeah.
I was gonna go watch War. Is it War Four? War of the Rohirrim. But then I watched a review that made me.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched a review that made me
Oh.
question it.
Did you listen to my review? Go and listen to my review.
Yeah,
Actually
but
listen to that one, bro. I worked hard on that video. I didn't just ad hominem at monologue the whole one. I worked hard on that video. I go off on an epic rant. I'll tell you everything you need to know about it. It like, whoo, you ain't ready.
well, it was funny because some people were telling me it was really good, but then I saw a review that I
No, they
generally agree
lying.
with. Yeah, yeah, that's the sense I got. So yeah, I'll probably go watch Sonic 3 instead.
Okay. Well, either way, you should listen to the review. I promise
Oh,
you
I'm
it's a
going to.
hilarious breakdown.
I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to.
And but yeah, see Sonic 3. It's epic.
Alrighty. Well, everyone, thanks for enjoying the episode. We will see you next week.